Oftentimes I'll be asked the question of how do I get rid of stubborn tummy fat, or the fat that sits on the back of your hips and prevent you from bringing your jeans all the way up, your favourite pair of jeans. It's those common areas that seem to be the problem areas for most mums. Now, most gurus will tell you that you need a calorie deficit to lose body fat, and as if it's as simple as just being in a calorie deficit. But I don't know about you, if you've ever been in a calorie deficit, it doesn't feel nice. It's not enjoyable. You will cut certain foods out, you will exercise more, and without a particular set of steps before you get to that advanced tactic, you will tend to go all in and then fall straight off the wagon. Some other symptoms of being in a calorie deficit is like brain fog, as if you didn't have enough brain fog as it is being a mum. Impaired repair, so if you're already not sleeping and then you go and try and do the next 6-week challenge at Snap Fitness with their massive calorie deficits in their eating plans, well, you're going to have a really hard time keeping up with all the exercise that is programmed in as well. So there are all these unique challenges that surround losing body fat and being a mum. Most of those are surrounded around the fact that you simply don't get enough quality sleep. Now, inside of this, a really huge epiphany comes around, because whilst mums tend to struggle with the body fat around the tummies and the hips, if you go into the science of it and how we actually store fat, it's a very normal process to have body fat stored there when you are in a constant state of stress. So removing the stubborn body fat is quite simple in scientific terms. It's reducing stress, essentially, because as soon as you reduce stress, you reduce the metabolic processes that occur in a state of stress. Now, inside of the Fit Mum method, we start with sleep. Okay, so we start with vision, but then we move on to sleep before we even get to the exercise and the nutrition, because of how important it is to reduce stress around bedtime. And it's that window of around 3 hours before you go to bed where you really need to focus all of your attention. And if you can focus all of your attention on that, like a stack of dominoes, the rest of them fall into place. And for two main reasons. First of all, during the nighttime hours, whilst you are asleep, your body's repairing, but also your body's establishing a metabolic rate, right? The main hormone that does this is insulin and ghrelin as well. So these two hormones regulate how your body uses carbohydrates. So if you've ever craved carbohydrates intensely, if you've ever had brain fog, it's a sign that your carbohydrate metabolism is impaired. And with a carbohydrate metabolism that is impaired, just about anything you try won't work, and fat will literally stick to your body in the unwanted areas. So reducing stress around those bedtime hours is just as good a tactic as eating the right foods, right? Being in that calorie deficit. So much so that if you were trying to do a program or a fitness challenge without addressing these 3 hours before bed, you've basically signed the papers to your failure. Your failure is imminent, no matter how much willpower or how much motivation you have. Eventually what will happen is you will fall off the wagon. The wheels will fall off because you will be overwhelmed, unmotivated, or your body will simply just say stop because it's not repairing. So there it is. That's how you get rid of stubborn body fat. You need to reduce your stress first. Reducing your stress comes in a whole host of different ways. It's not as if you need to stand there and look at positive affirmations to reduce your stress, or it's not as if you have to go a different alternate route home and not get stuck in traffic to reduce your stress. I want you to think of stress as something that puts you in an awake state. So stress is not bad. Stress is actually quite good, especially during the day when you need to be alert. But when you're at night and you're laying there with your eyes wide open, that's when you don't want those stress hormones flooding your body. So reducing stress around those hours by implementing strategies and routines that reduce stress and don't actually wake you up is the key. Now, unfortunately, most of the things we use to wind ourselves down does the opposite. If you think about watching telly, winding down in front of the telly, the screen itself acts as blue light and will essentially wake you up. Now, it's not to say you can't watch telly before bed, but there needs to be a buffer there between bed and rest, okay? And the same goes with screen time on your phone, wine night, eating something sweet. All of these things, overly sweet, I'll add there, because all of these things tell your body to wake up. So there you have it. If you are a mum and you are struggling with getting rid of the stubborn body fat around your tummy, around your hips, use the link in the comment section of this video. I'll pop it in there, and consume the training on the other side of that. I'll go into depth in the 4-step method and exactly what you need to do to get your fit, strong body back in 2020. And if you want to be fast-tracked through the process, held your hand, coached through the entire path and guarantee your result by the end of the year, then you can book in for a call and we can assess your suitability, look at starting point, what steps you need to take on a personalised level to get there, and make it happen. Thanks for watching. Bye.